Are you ready to hear about the most underrated sales skill? That's right, I'm talking listening. So often when I'm working with salespeople, one of the things that I notice is that we don't listen as much as we should. And that's a really easy thing to say. Like, you should listen more. You should do more listening. You should listen to your prospect. You should listen to your customer. You should understand what they want. That's really easy to say. But how the hell do you actually do it? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly that. So let's start from the top. Why is listening really important, especially in a sales situation? Well, you might have heard that people buy from people, and that's all about relationships. And I'm a really firm believer that relationships are what makes your sales success. The thing is though, in most relationships, people are more interested in themselves than they are in you. People love to talk, and they especially love to talk about themselves. And that can be your secret weapon. Because really, when you're selling, it's not actually about you. And in fact, in this day and age, I think it's not even really about selling sometimes. Really what it is, it's about helping people to buy. And in order to help people to buy, you need to understand what's important to them. And what better way to do that than by listening to what they've got to say? That gives us lots of opportunity to not only get lots of information, but to really understand what's actually important to them. And by understanding what's important to them, we can then perfectly position our products and services. So how can you be a good listener? Well, it's strange to say, but there are actually some things you can do around this, and a lot of them are remarkably simple. A lot of listening is about your body language. So it's about thinking about having great eye contact. It's about being really open and about making sure that you're not showing any judgment. Now that can be harder than you think, especially if someone's saying something that maybe you don't 100% agree with. So think about your body language. Anything from pursing your lips, raising your eyebrows, or even rolling your eyes can really give away to the person in front of you that you're not on the same page as them. So suspending your judgment is really important, and you need to make sure you do that with your body language. Equally, we can use our body language to encourage people to keep talking. So we can nod. You can also use verbal nods. This is especially helpful if you're on the phone as well, where people can't actually see your body language. But it's a great way to encourage people to keep talking and that you are listening and engaged with them. Another thing that I really like to do, especially in business meetings, is I like to take notes. That's super helpful for me because it actually allows me to really focus on what the person's saying and ensure that I have notes about the key things, because I am going to forget. We forget so much of what we're told that the more that we can actually write that down and take those key notes, the easier we're making our lives. The other thing is, it really shows that we're interested if you're actually taking notes. It shows that you don't want to miss anything. And actually, what I really like about it is it gives me the option to actually think and pause rather than constantly thinking about my response. It means I'm really listening to what the person in front of me is really saying. And of course, listening more means we're going to hear more. You're going to start to hear what people aren't saying to you, and you can start to read a little bit between the lines. You can also listen to the language that they use. This can be really interesting as well, because some people talk a lot about how they feel, in which case you know that the likelihood is that any sale is maybe going to be more emotion-led. It might be that people use a lot of logic terms. They might say, it makes sense. So what I concluded. That sort of language is saying they're making more of a logic judgment. So again, when you're coming to present your product or service, you might want to keep that in mind. And of course, if you're listening well, that gives you the opportunity to dig for more. And that's brilliant, because the more that you find out, the easier it is to sell. One great technique is mirroring what the person in front of you has just said. So if they say it's really busy at the office at the moment, then you could mirror straight back and say it's busy at the office with a question in your voice. That actually is enough for that person to then respond by giving you more detail about that point. That can be really nice if you're wanting to dig additional information out of what's really going on. Another great way to do this is to ask a question linked to what you've just heard. So you can make a statement that says something. So from what you've said about X, Y, Z, what about this? And that's really nice because it's giving some context for your next question. That's helpful because it shows you responding appropriately. So often what happens is people listen almost as like a tick box exercise. They'll go, right, okay, do you want to buy my stuff? It's completely disconnected. The whole point is we're human beings and we want to have a human conversation. So your next best question should always come from the conversation that has gone before. So listening can really be your secret weapon. It's something that most salespeople don't do enough of. And even if they are listening, they don't then use that information. It's amazing what people are prepared to tell you if you just sit back and let them talk. And what are you going to do differently to find out more information next time you're listening to a prospect? So that's all from me. And thanks so much for listening to me. If you'd like to hear more, then just remember to hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. And until next time, remember to be sales-tastic.